Hi, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your August 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. So this reading is for my Aquarius air signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. Although sometimes these messages can get very specific, but what I do find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Aquarius signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do, as it really helps the channel out. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then of course you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Aquarius, let's jump in. When I feel into the energies here, I feel like there is a situation that many of you are dealing with, which is creating frustration, exhaustion. To me, it feels like these energies of giving and receiving, of give and take, are really out of balance. And I also get the sense that you have tried more than once to resolve, this imbalance, but it's still there, it's not working. And I feel like it's brought you to the point where there is a question here now, should I move on? Should I walk away from this? But at the same time, what I feel here is some quite strong emotional attachments. Now that could be to a job, a place, a person. So for some of you, this is the person you're connected with. And with your overall energies, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now this is a card of movement, of taking action, but it's more the kind of action where it's really just about putting one foot in front of the other. It's like one step at a time, but still, taking those steps. Even if they're small ones, it's about showing up, and being consistent. And what lies in your recent past, we have the Fool, a new beginning of some kind. It could be the kind of new beginning that involves taking some kind of leap of faith, taking a step into the unknown. But the Fool usually comes up when we're about to move into a whole new phase in our lives. It's the beginning of a whole new chapter. So the ending of one, the beginning of a whole new chapter. But sometimes it does involve, stepping into the unknown here and just approaching that with openness and curiosity. So some kind of new beginning, putting one foot in front of the other, you're taking small steps towards this. And with your current energies, we have the Queen of Swords. And this is the thing that I'm feeling about your situation is, in terms of career, I just get this sense for many of you, it's a job where you're kind of doing everybody else's work besides your own. And so there is this sense of exhaustion, of putting in more than you're getting back from this. And of course, over time, absolutely we don't feel appreciated or valued. But I feel this is also, something that you've put a lot into, because I don't feel like this is something new. It feels like it's something with history. And I do feel you've spoken your truth, because the Queen of Swords is all about speaking up and speaking your truth. And, you know, cutting through any illusions and getting to the truth of things. And I do feel that you have done this, Aquarius. I feel like you've spoken to the right people, but yet it doesn't resolve. And it leaves you in this really kind of situation where you're feeling stuck. You know, this is something that you have these emotional attachments to, but yet there's something that is not fulfilling anymore or satisfying about this. In terms of love, I feel that many of you are connected to someone again that you have history with. This feels like an old connection. And for me, it's this sense of drifting apart and beginning to feel that you're perhaps no longer in alignment with each other, that somehow your energies are, you know, no longer feeling in harmony. You know, sometimes we can just start to kind of grow apart. You know, sometimes it can be that the soul contracts, the reasons for, you know, being together, you know, have started to complete themselves, and you know, we're always shifting and changing and growing, and sometimes we do need to take a different path. But again, there's these emotional attachments there that I feel like this is also still somebody that you love and care about, and I do feel like you have tried to resolve this with your person. What I'm seeing is, you know, talking to them like multiple times, and you know, really trying to get them to open up and address, you know, this imbalance, and to try to, you know, really resolve this kind of drifting apart that's going on between the two of you. But I feel like you're dealing with someone who has kind of shut down on you a little bit, doesn't deal with their emotions very well. And with your feelings towards your situation, we have the Page of Swords. This usually comes in when we're still kind of getting the facts and the truth or more information about a situation. So we're feeling like, you know, we don't have all of that information just yet. And what lies in your area of a challenge is the devil, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, Aquarius. You know, this represents those old unhealthy connections which sometimes we feel stuck in because there's something about them that does serve us somehow. There's something that we do still get from something, but yet it's not fulfilling anymore. There's something about it that's unhealthy, sometimes even toxic. And sometimes we can feel stuck. But the devil is, you know, it's all about remembering that, you know, we do have the power to change. We do have the power to break free. And I do feel that this comes in as a caution to just be aware of perhaps not doing a repeat here, not going down kind of the same path, the same roads, repeating the same patterns over and over again, which on some level are unfulfilling. On some level, they are no longer in alignment with perhaps who you are now. And what lies in your hidden influence, we have the moon. So this is a call really to use your intuition at this time, Aquarius, to navigate this situation Because the moon usually comes in when there's a lack of clarity. It can be a situation that's a bit confusing. Sometimes it represents, things being hidden, deception, but it can also represent our deeper subconscious world, and it can very much represent, fears and insecurities, which really is what this devil is calling you to look at in all of this. And with your advice from the universe, the Six of Wands, which is a card of recognition, and it really is honoring, recognizing your true genuine needs. What do you want moving forwards, your dreams, your desires, recognizing your worth and your value, because sometimes, as much as we want that to come from something or somebody external from ourselves, sometimes we don't get that. And that's part of the lesson, because sometimes we need to find that for ourselves. But this is a moment to also, to just take a moment, look at how far you've come and how much you've grown, and really just recognize, the person that you are now, that you're moving into. With your potential outcome, we have death, which is all about change. And it's a transformative kind of change. So it's the kind of change which involves letting go of, what no longer serves you. So very often this can be about shedding old versions of ourselves, layers, toxic beliefs. And moving in to this new version of ourselves, this more complete and whole version of ourselves. But sometimes that does involve perhaps letting go of, what you no longer feel in alignment with. And what follows death is the Chariot, success, movement, and taking your power here, Aquarius, and really getting back in the driving seat of your life. It's about you holding the reins. It's about you navigating, whatever life brings, the ups and downs, but reclaiming your power in this situation. And when things come to a point where you've really truly done everything that you can to try to resolve something, then, an important choice really does need to be made here, Aquarius. So I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thank you so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.